But this is why the confusion is going on in the body of Israel. The reason that the confusion is going on in the body of Israel, because this whole thing, the foundation that was laid for us to come forward as Israelites, was laid on Masonic principles, was laid on the Rosicrucian principles, a magical society, was laid under the Kabbalah order and so forth. That was the inner circle. That's it.
Praise Yah, the creator of the heavens and earth and everything on it, the self-sustaining one, the Holy One of Israel, the only Savior of Israel. If you serve a God who did not bring the children of Israel out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery, then you serve a God who cannot save. Thank you very much for tuning in once again to the Killer Priest and Elder Chazaaq commentary video. Before we get into the video, Elder Eliah, do you have anything to say to the people?
Yes. First, I'd like to say all praises 100% to the Creator Yah, only alone, as in Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And with that said, let's get right into the video.
Demagoguery, worshiping the Creator more than the Creator, elevating that. So, yeah, that's what's going on, my brother. Going back on the forward, guess what? He taught that Kabbalah. And I would advise any brother that don't know what the hell they doing, leave that alone. You go messing around with it, them forces show up at your door.
Now, let's point out the fact that he always wants to go back to Mr. Ford, and from our understanding and research, right, because he'll say that a lot of people told him these things about these people, okay? But from our understanding, from our research, right, it was Ariyah who taught them the Kabbalah. And then I want to point out the fact that the elder supports it now, right? And I only say this because he's saying if you don't know what you're doing, leave it alone. But if you don't, right? I mean, if you know what you're doing, go ahead and mess with it, you know what I mean? But if you don't know what you're doing, leave it alone. So this is why I say he support the Kabbalah, because we're just supposed to leave it alone whether we know what we're doing with it or not, okay? He shouldn't be sitting here telling you, hey, if you don't know what you're doing, leave it alone. But man, you know, on a flip coin, if you know what you're doing, go ahead and mess with the book. That's not what should be coming out the mouth of an elder, especially an elder of Israel. Eliah?
Yeah, again, you're right. He often says he was told that Arnold Ford this and that, but he testified that he knows, and he does, that Ariyah, who taught him the Kabbalah, he can testify as an eyewitness to that. And one thing about Ford and Matthew, and certainly Arba Bivens, they represented Yah and Yah only, and not Christ. That came in with Ariyah when he sold out, having been raised from a youth as in the school of Torah and Tanakh. But again, he sold out.
You can't dismiss them. That's what happened. I was told that's what happened to some of these brothers. Out of body experience, fell out of a window, called the demons and wasn't able to dismiss them. And so the demon rend them, just like it says in the scriptures. We know Peter, we know Paul, but who are thou? And rend them to place. You know?
And once again, you know, we hate to say we told you so, but this is what we were saying to the brothers and sisters. When we were saying Yah versus Yahweh, and we were letting the people know that it came up that ye are not so chosen, that it was witchcraft attached to the name Yahweh, demonic spirits attached to the name of Yahweh, okay? The Masonic Jesuit order attached to the name Yahweh. See, we brought all these things out. And now you have the elders sitting here telling you that the person who brought you the name Yahweh, they were dealing with these demonic forces. Eliah?
Yeah, I heard a lot of laughing. I was just wondering what was so funny.
You know, that just lets you know who sold out. You know, we see the symbolism in the background. I hope you guys understand. You see the symbolism on the elder's shirt. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, that's an owl. We know what the owl's about. We see the Egyptian symbolism in the background. We know what Killa Preist is all about. He's like the HOK group with Nepal and Sinetta, you know. He represents Egypt and Hebrew Israelite, and he tries to mesh that in together. And that, no, the Most High said not to be like the Egyptians. Don't do as the Egyptian does, all right? We don't serve the Egyptian gods. We Yah and Yah only.
So Arnold Ford brought that, and guess what else Arnold Ford was about? Arnold Ford went on the AKA name. He taught this guy named, he was called Abdullah, the Ethiopian rabbi. You can look him up.
What's his name?
Abdullah, the Ethiopian rabbi. See if you can get that.
Yeah.
Because he had a guy, Edomite, he taught named Melville Gellert or something like that, Ethiopian rabbi. Abdullah, the Ethiopian rabbi.
They look that up, AD.
All right, sure.
Yeah, here you go. Neville. He taught this Edomite named Neville. Abdullah never got it. He taught never got it. And guess what? Because of him,
Yeah,
that's how the Kabbalah got so powerful in Hollywood.
Wow. We're going to show it on the screen for you, Elder Chazaaq. So
Yeah.
we can see it. Is that
Yeah, never got it.
Wow.
And he called the Ethiopian rabbi, Arnold Ford. Type in Arnold Ford, the Ethiopian rabbi. You know? And
you see him? Can you see him, AD? Is that him right there?
Yeah, that's him. That's him right there.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's him right there. He was bad, man. He was wealthy, too.
Cold.
Yeah, he was cold. He taught them dudes, and Melvin, Melvin, what's his name? Melvin what? Melvin Goddard. He the one that taught the guy Rod Sterling for the Twilight Zone.
Wow.
The Kabbalah. This dude here, he the one that taught our strain, went through Matthew and Ford, and he's the one that sanctioned for them to become rabbis. Set up the Hebrew Academy.
And so I would like to point out how he didn't say that he taught Mr. Bivens, okay? Now, you know, let's be fair, maybe he slipped up and forgot, but it doesn't seem to me that he did, but, you know, he didn't mention Mr. Bivens being taught the Kabbalah, right? And so what we're telling you is that came through Ariyah. And who's telling him that Mr. Ford was teaching and learning the Kabbalah when he wasn't even there? He doesn't know, right? He mentioned out his own mouth that someone told him about these things. So we don't know what's actually factual, but what we do know is that Ariyah taught them the Kabbalah. Eliah, you have anything to say?
time he goes all the way to Ford, it conflates and it confuses the situation, and people forget that Arya took on Christianity after he sold out, and that they were told not to proclaim and not to promote the Creator's name, which is Yah. They said, don't say Yah.
They were told not to say Yah and not to teach us to keep the laws. Now you got a lot of groups teaching that. You know, I think they had to keep up with pace, you know, with the Yah onlys, right? Because in the beginning they weren't teaching keeping the law. But most definitely they're not going to teach you about Yah and Yah only.
The Rabbinical Academy for the set up black rabbis. And he was given that through who? Selassie. Haile Selassie.
Wow.
You know? And then guess who else came out of that group?
Sterling? Yeah.
Yeah, go look up that guy at Mel Goddard. Mm-hmm. Read up on him. Neville Goddard. And
you said, guess who?
The mind power. Mel Goddard told him, said, look, I'm from Barbados. I want to go to Barbados. I don't have no money. He said, don't say that. Say, I am in Barbados. The power of thought could put you there. Anything you want, just meditate on it. It could put you there. Keep saying, and he ended up saying that, and he went to Barbados. He ended up in Barbados. The spirit moved where he was in Barbados. You know, and he was taught on the Ford, on a Ford 5, 6, 7 days a week, man. For probably many years.
But I hope that you guys caught that when the elder said the spirit moved and got him into Barbados, right? So this is him supporting the Kabbalah. See, initially he wants to come out and act like he's against it, but like I told you, he's not against it, okay? Because he just told the people, if you can't deal with it, leave it alone. But on the flip side, if you can, we'll go ahead. So if he was against it, he would tell people not to deal with it, whether they could or they couldn't. And now you see him speak and talking about the spirit moving this man to get him to Barbados, right? He's supporting this whole Kabbalah ideology. He's supporting this whole spirit that comes from this Kabbalah ideology, this Kabbalah teaching. I hope you guys are seeing this, okay? And this is that they're trying to bring the people back under. And technically, they already are in, shall we say. He's just, honestly, they just keep it 100. He coming to strong arm the camps, right? Like he just told you in the last video. Okay, he named out all the attorneys, the IRS, they work for the Jesuits, the school that they went to, and he gave you an example of what's going to happen to you if you don't pay your taxes, right? That 10%, right? And who did he give you? The Comforter. The Comforter was your example, Nate, Nathaniel, all these other leaders, Johanna, all these guys, you know, he's talking about that you need to come up under, you guys need to come up under him, or Lahab. And you guys need to pay the taxes to headquarters. He gave you the example of what's going to happen to you if you don't pay them taxes. So I figured, I kept asking him yesterday, you know, what he's here for. And it came to me, you know, he's here to collect that money because he is one of the 7 heads, right? And Johanna and Nathaniel and Tahar, all you guys came way after this elder, and he ain't get his cut. He ain't get his piece. You see what I'm saying? He from the beginning. So he looking at it like, how you guys, you from saying, getting all these millions, and he over here sitting on copper pennies, right? And he wanted the heads. He wanted the heads, right? So he trying to eat. Yeah, that's what's going on here. So, Eli, you have anything to say?
Yeah, Yeah, just to add to that, that's the way it works in the order. You have to pay your dues, and these guys set it up. So, hey, he says that he's here to check the zone.
Yeah, he's here to check the zone. And if he use that Kabbalah on you, if he keep using his power of imagination, you boys gonna be paying that 10%. But let's keep going.
Many years. And so when he came back on our side, he was Rabbi on a Ford. When he went out there among them other nations and Edomites and taught them the Kabbalah, he was called a doula, the Ethiopian rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
There's videos on him online.
Mm-hmm.
They know about him down in Jamaica and these other islands. They know about him. I think he was from St. Thomas or somewhere, or wherever he was from,
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? The head guy that's over the black Jews out in Chicago, and they call him, you know what they call him? They call him Obama's rabbi. His name is Casper Fune. He learned under Winthrop Matthew and them too. He came out of that same school. So you can Google that. Obama's rabbi.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be Michelle Obama's cousin or something. But what
It's cooking.
What I believe Bivens did, once they beat the Jews, the Israelites up that went down there in the Ethiopia and reneged on that promise. It was a scam under Haile Selassie. And that Shamshami community and all of that, the Rastafarian community they were supposed to set up. Once that happened, I believe Bivens came back and said, we ain't even no daggone Hamites. We Shemites. And you know what they call that after Bivens did that?
Yeah.
They call that Korah's rebellion. And they prophesied that he had went against the Ethiopian order, of the rabbinical Ethiopian order under Haile Selassie, and took the yoke of Selassie, and that connotation of we being African Jews, and put us under Shemitic, what we supposed to be, and I think they got pissed off with him.
And so we see the elder tap the table after saying this. So let's analyze this. What he's doing is he's implicating that the reason why Mr. Bivens died is because of the Ethiopian Jews not liking him saying that we're Shemitic, okay? So what he is doing is saying that Mr. Bivens was murdered, right? We can all come to that same conclusion. Now, this is the question. Was he murdered for this reason that Elder Chazaaq is talking about, or was he murdered for another reason? And Eliah, would you like to add to that?
Yes, I noticed a lot of times he uses the word or the phrases, I believe, I think, but he doesn't seem to know, except for when it comes to his dealings with Chief High Priest Ariyah, who set up. He's the original founder of the original ISUPK, where even General Yohana was trained to do what he does. But that was at the expense of them murdering and assassinating, getting rid of Elder Abba Bivens, the founder of the School of Torah and Tanakh. And once they did that, they could then replace that school where you were taught the Creator Yah only. And that was replaced with the school of Universal or Catholic. The elder said that Universal stands for Catholic, and he's one of the seven heads. So the Catholic practical knowledge was set up only to reveal its true name, its true self, which is the Church of God in Jesus Christ, which is the goal of apostolic succession in the Black Israelite community, to destroy us. And idolatry is what it is.
Exactly. Can't get around it. So that's the reason why Mr. Bivens was murdered. Okay? Because they wanted to set up and infiltrate with this doctrine that we have today through REI. Let's continue.
And that's what happened to him over there. Oh, wicked well, that's weed. You know?
And so for those who don't know, that is a Masonic saying. Okay, let's hear it again. So he's letting you know who actually did it. Okay? It was a wicked web that was weaved. And that's what LEI and myself has been talking about and trying to bring out with this situation with Mr. Bivens, his school, and REI, okay, and why Mr. Bivens was murdered, and what was weaved up out of that assassination, okay, and what came up out of that assassination, right? This weaving of the web was the school that LEI just talked about, and then all the rest of these schools afterwards, okay? Because see, if we would have continued on with Mr. Bivens and what he taught, we would all be Yah only, and we will all be up under the law of Yah, and we would be united. We would not be different camps or different organizations. We would be a nation. Let's hear that again.
Of the rabbinical Ethiopian order under Haile Selassie, and took the yoke of Selassie, and that connotation of we being African Jews, and put us under Shemitic, what we supposed to be, and I think they got pissed off with him. And that's what happened to him over there. Oh, wicked well, that's weed. You know? You know?
And I don't know what's so funny, Killer Preist. I mean, I know you a Mason. I know you a brother. I know you a traveler. Elia, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a continual laughter all through the video. I don't know what's so funny.
And because
put up his picture,
the Jesuits can send out anybody. They control Israel.
And so, just like I said, see, when he said that saying, you know, wicked web, weaving all that, he was letting you know, for those who knew, like myself, I knew that he was referring to the Jesuits, to the Masonic order. And then right after he got done saying that, he said the Jesuits could sit down whoever they want. So he's letting you know that it was the Jesuits, it was the Masonic order that set Mr. Bivens down. And we're telling you why, because it was the Masonic Jesuit order who put these camps in place. It was the Jesuit Masonic order who came to them, now he said it, who came to them and told them to stop what? Stop teaching Yah only. And who was doing that? That was Mr. Bivens. That's why they had to put him to death. That's why they had to get REI to sell out and to come out with this new doctrine, with this new school, which birthed all these other idiot schools. Okay? He sat there and told you that the Jesuits could put down anybody they want to put down. Elia, you have anything to say?
Yeah, you summed it up nicely, and he laid it all out. And again, he says that he's here to set up the order.
Thank you.
They control all these groups, all these magical societies. They control all of that, man. They can send anybody they want. That's why everybody on the planet go what? There's over all these countries, they go kiss the Pope's ring. Hamas, you talking about, Hamas and Mahmoud Abbas and Palestinians, and they all go kiss the Pope's ring, bro. When you go to talk about,
and I agree with him. I agree with him. And he kissed the Pope ring too. I'm not saying he actually did, but he would. He would. But you can best believe over here, we ain't kissing no doggone Pope ring. You can best believe over here, it ain't no ever selling out. Never. We going to the grave with this, believe that.
Israel, Netanyahu, who they go? They go kiss the Pope's ring, bro. All the African leaders, they go kiss the Pope's ring, bro. Why? Because he's the guy. He's the guy. And guess what? It's an international brotherhood. They all tied in together. It's that one world order, international brotherhood. That's why all them leaders that...
And he's right. This is why we got the Pope, we got the Jesuit, we got the Rosicrucians, all coming up under ISUPK, IUIC, the name Yahweh, right? We did videos airing all this out. We did videos alarming the people that the camps had sold out to the Rosicrucians, that the camps was under the Jesuit order, that the camps had leaders that were Masonic brothers, okay? And now you're hearing it out of one of the 7 heads' mouth. Now, what are you going to do with the information? Are we going to continue to be hard-headed, stiff-necked Hebrew Israelites, like the Most High said? Are we not going to understand that they sold out at the time of Ariyah and they wouldn't teach the people about Yah and Yah alone like Mr. Bivens did? And like what we're trying to do and other brothers and sisters are trying to do? Are we not going to realize that this is a lie? That you need to come up out of the organization and become a nation and unite up under Yah and his laws? Eliah?
Yeah, we're not camps. We're a nation. And these brothers are running around here talking about the brotherhood and the order. Well, we know that we're not a part of that unless you want to sell out. So we're inviting the brothers to unite as a nation under the praise, the greatest praise, which is Hallelujah.
That they set up all over Africa and all these countries around the world. Where they come first? They come to the United States to go to the Ivy League schools to get an education. After that, in their military academies. After that, they send them back over in their country and sit up on thrones so that they can go in there and get the mineral resources out of their land at will and do what they want to do to control them. And then they get them hooked on the IMF funds, international monetary funds. That's what the scripture said. They that eat that bread shall lay a sore wound under thee. Some of them nations wake up and say, man, I don't want this no more. But yo, you done took that IMF money. You can't turn around now. That's why he carried that eagle carried arrows and olive branches. The olive branches represent I'm gonna come and talk to you diplomatic. And if you don't want to go according to diplomatic stuff, the arrows is coming for you.
Yeah. So in other words, right? You know, he named all the attorneys, the IRS people, all these people that work for the Jesuits, and he gave you the example using the comforter, right? And how the comforter, this so-called, pay his taxes, you know, to these people, to the Jesuits. They set them up and they brought them down, right? You know, it's, me and Eliot talked about this, you know, like back in the days, and probably still today they do it. You know how you have drug dealers, and they'll have a young runner, you know what I mean? They'll send them with something, and then they'll have, you know, the Jack boys go rob them, right? And then the runner comes back talking about, oh man, I got robbed, you know what I'm saying? And then the person who sent them to go run the drugs say, it's okay, youngin, you know what I mean? Just work it off. But the whole time he had the dude robbed. So he can have him work for free and have him now really push his bid. right, for nothing. And so this is the same thing that's going on with, the Jesuits in the camps. Because one could ask, well, you're saying that the Jesuits gave them money, and now you're saying that they're asking for taxes and, and this and that, and they're going to take them down. Well, that's what they do. They raise you up and they take you down. You don't understand why they raise you up. See, they did this to confuse the nation of Israel and to get them to err. And then what happens is a lot of these people in these camps, once they realize that this was all a lie, it was a cult, a lot of them, we have people who've killed themselves, committed suicide behind this. Straight unalive themselves behind this cult, right? You have some that don't believe in the Bible any longer. They don't believe in God. They become atheists. And you have very few that come over here to the Yah only side, and then you have very few that go back into Christianity, okay? But their whole goal was, once again, to what? Dismantle us. Because once we were starting to wake that we were the children of Israel, we were supposed to come under Yah and Yah alone, and then unite up under Yah's laws. And one God, who is Yah, the God of Abraham, who brought us up out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. They knew this was coming, and this is what they put in place for us. To have us all discombobulated. To have us in an organization instead of becoming a nation. Eliah, you have anything to say?
Yeah, there's simply no unbelief in this. I mean, the elder is basically telling you bold face to your face.
And that's how they do. Go check it out. And if you want to study any history, learn any history, the best history to study is Jesuit history. The history of the Jesuits. And the Jesuits was black in the beginning. Ignatius Loyola, they was black. It was all the founding fathers. They was all.
I mean, man, he supports the Jesuits so much. Now, the Jesuits has the best history out of all histories, right? The Jesuits have the best history. Isn't that something? Now, Eliah, this is out of the mouth of an elder Israelite. Now, I would think he would say the Israelites have the best history. And he gonna sit there and say the Jesuits have the best history. Eliah, did you hear this man?
Yeah, I was like, wow, the best history of all history is to know, to study, and to admire, as you can clearly hear him in his voice and his explanation, the Jesuit order, or the Church of Jesu, G-E-S-U, who they later changed their name to the Society of Jesus.
I can't believe he said that. Wow. I mean, because I'm always good for saying that the Old Testament, Genesis through Malachi, is our history book, right? Because Yah didn't give us religion. Yah gave us laws to live by in the land. Simple as that, right? And then you see the wars, and you see the lands that we acquired because of these certain wars, and when Yah brought us into lands, right? The book is our history book. And so I would think that Israelite elder who's an Israelite, would say that our book, the Old Testament, Genesis through Malachi, I understand he deals with the New Testament, but at least he acknowledged Genesis through Malachi, that our history book is the best history, and that all of Israel should indulge in that book, not indulge in the history of the Jesuits. Why you have so much admiration for the Jesuits, elder? Where is your love for Yah? Where is your love for the God of Abraham? How are you telling the people to go read about the history of the Jesuits when you should be telling them to go read about their history and who their God is and who their Savior is, because Israel needs salvation, and the showing of hell don't come from the Jesuits. It comes from Yah Almighty. So we understand the order that you bring it back in, or I'm looking at saying this order hasn't went anywhere. Let's just be real. You just want some money. You want the headquarters back in your establishment, right? The seven, right? Mr. Seven, Mr. Founding Seven. You just want that money, that power in the headquarters. Hey, I get it. I understand. There's an order to this. Okay, but let's not play any games here, right? You coming up under the order of the Jesuits. That's your God. That's who you serve. You don't serve Yah, sir. You are detrimental to our people. You become a Hashatan to the nation of Israel.
All black, bro. Right around talking about, oh, the white man, the devil. Look, let me say this again. Then Christ said, did I not choose 12 of you and one of you is a devil? And that the devil should have, and we teach what we teach.
So in other words, is he letting you know that he's a devil? Because anytime he says, well, oh, you're the devil, he keep going back to, well, let me tell you this. Didn't Christ say that, yada, yada, 12 of y'all and one of y'all the devil? So he's letting you know that he a devil. Simple as that. Is that what he's doing? We're not going to play no games with him no more. This don't make no sense. The man telling you what's going on right in your face. Eliah, you have anything to say?
Yeah, he's not only telling you to your face, but he called out Elder Lahab, and he says that by right, you're the leader now of this order, and what are you going to do if you don't? Then I guess he's gonna step up and take your place.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna slither right on in your place.
We teach black liberation theology. We teach identity theology, right? Black nationalism. So ain't no room for no Edomite to be one of the 12 apostles.
Now you teach Jesuitism.
So if Yahweh said, didn't I choose all 12 of you and one of you is a devil? Then what color was Judas Iscariot?
Black man.
He was a black man. And then
look what you got right in front of you, right? You got a so-called black man in front of you. So he's telling you he that devil. Read between the lines, folks. It's easy to see. It's easy to hear. You don't even have to make yourself believe this. He's telling you.
Scripture said this, Satan will appear as an angel of light. And who is the children of light? The children of light is Israel. So he gonna come.
Right. And so how is he trying to appear to the children of Israel, right? What light is he trying to bring out, right? He's trying to bring out that all the elders sold out to the Rosicrucians, he sold out to the Jesuit order, all this stuff, that he's a liar, right? So isn't he trying to shine this light? Isn't he trying to be this bright light to the nation of Israel, trying to say we need to unite and come back up under the order, like he's trying to put everything back in place? But he's actually Satan. He's actually Hashatan. He's actually an adversary to the nation of Israel. Because he wants to bring you up under the same Jesuit order. This is why I told you to go read about the Jesuit history. I mean, don't it make sense? Eliah?
Yeah, just to add, he said it's the best history. I mean, out of the millions of histories you can study, the Jesuits is his favorite.
I'm looking just like us. Everything that happened in my life, that overthrew my life, it ain't been no. I know the white man put laws in the book and used the power of the pen and set up those laws and so forth. But everything that affected me and overthrew my life was black folks, bro. My own race, my own color. You understand? Why are you talking about the white man? Look, why did we fall? For being angels and righteous? No, we fell for being devils. Let's get it straight. For being black devils. That's why we fell. That's why Esau's foot is up our behind. That's why we all jacked up. That's why we kicked out of our land. Israel.
And no facts. I totally get that. I agree. But this is why the brother's dealing with some. He's bipolar. You know what I mean? Because he know that's the reason why we were kicked up out of our land. But what he's trying to bring you back up under is still going to continue to be out the land. And at this point, you know, we're getting ready to go back home. You're not going to make it. You see what I'm saying? That 2/3, right? 2/3, you know, saying, gonna come under the rod. You know what I mean? Well, that 2/3 is in the camps. That 2/3 is those who call on Yahweh and other than Yah. Simple as that. Yahuwah, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, all that madness. You dig what I'm saying? Oh, that's 2/3 for sure. If you don't come back to Yah, you're gonna get cut off. You're not gonna get into the kingdom calling on any other God other than Yah. Simple as that. I don't care who you are.
And the other people over there fighting over it now. That's why everything that happened to us, because we fell from being black devils. When Yahweh came, what he was doing? Casting devils out of our people. First thing he was doing, casting the devil out of our people. He was telling Satan, you can't have them no more. I'm taking a remnant of them back. That's why it says 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. A 3rd part shall be left therein. 1/3 of us going to come back. 2/3 going to be recycled.
Look here, you know, that's what I was just saying, that 2/3, right? You got to understand that they call us yayas, right? And I'm okay with that. You feel me? I love being called yayas. So.
But this is why the confusion is going on in the body of Israel. The reason that the confusion is going on in the body of Israel, because this whole thing, the foundation that was laid for us to come forward as Israelites, was laid on Masonic principles, was laid on the Rosicrucian principles, a magical society, was laid under the Kabbalah order and so forth. That was the inner circle. That's the inner circle.